Hello, everyone. Welcome to another inspiring session of the Youth Engagement Forum. Today, this session focuses on youth changemakers who are stepping up to make a difference in their community. And in this episode of the Youth Engagement Forum, we have Eesha Jain, who will talk to us a little bit about her summer coding camp for kids to really raise awareness and inspire kids to learn more about coding. So hi, Eesha.
Hi, Meher. Thank you for inviting me onto your program. I'm really inspired by Youth Aware and how you are really engaging kids and just showing them different perspectives, and I think it's really inspiring.
Thank you. So Eesha, can you tell us a little bit about yourself?
Yeah, my name's Eesha, and I'm an eighth grader in Bellevue, Washington. I have a passion for math. It's just one of my favorite subjects at school. I also enjoy teaching. I'm just really inspired by how teachers can really influence their students and how students can really grow from their teachers. And I want to continue teaching because of that amazing connection. And I also have a huge passion for coding and programming. I just love the feeling of making my own programs and watching them run.
Yes, thank you. It's really amazing to hear how you're so passionate about teaching and helping others and connecting with the community. So tell us a little bit about your project. What do you hope to achieve, and how do you vision this summer coding project impacting youth?
So, yeah, I can talk a little bit about how in the summer I was running a coding camp for kids. And in the coding camp, I was teaching kids just the intro to Java, which is a programming language. And I think that this program helped the students who attended my class just learn the basics of Java, but it also taught them or helped them gain experience on the STEM like acronym, the T part, which is technology. It just gave them a brief overview of technology, and I think that it's important for the youth to gain experience and on the STEM at a young age because then they'll be able to know like what they want to be when they grow up.
So, what age groups were you seeing in your coding camp?
So I was targeting a middle school to not middle school, elementary school to about sixth, seventh grade in my summer camp.
That's great. And did you see that at the end of the coding camp, were you seeing that kids were inspired and they took more interest in STEM?
Yeah, by the end of the camp, I heard that a lot of people really enjoyed it. They got to learn the basics of programming, and I think that they were inspired by how STEM can be really impactful and they can do so much with STEM.
Yes, especially in this time now, everything's coming online, and it's very important to have some basic coding knowledge and STEM knowledge because these really lay the foundation for a lot of careers in the future, and it really opens a window of opportunity to kids so that they can have more choices for what they want to be when they grow up.
Yeah, I totally agree with you.
So, Eesha, you started this summer coding camp. Why do you think learning coding is important for kids to learn these days?
Well, I think coding is important for kids to learn because coding can do so much. For example, if you wanted to build a car and you have like thousands of cars to build. You could program something to help build some of the cars for you, or do some of the sharp or deal with some of the sharp parts. But you can also kind of go small scale, like if you want to see how many of your friends are coming to your um, are coming to a party, then you can use programming to send an invite and then get back the invitations from them. So I think programming can be really helpful. It can help us solve so many tasks. And also, like you said, a lot of jobs in the future kind of involve the different components of STEM. And I think gaining experience of the four acronyms will give you a broader perspective of the future, what you can do, and really what you can become.
So, Eesha, that's great. You mentioned before that you enjoy creating your own programs. What are some things that you have done with coding in the past?
Well, I have first, I've done a little bit small scale, just doing basic programs like seeing whether different words can be palindromes, like which is like same forward and backwards. And I've also used programming to just see whether I can tackle different day-to-day problems, or just like basic problems like let's how many letters of how many times does a vowel appear in a word, or how many people say yes versus no. So it's just basic problems that can be solved with programming.
Yes, it's just really amazing how coding can do so much and how this field is growing. And now that a lot of services are being offered on the computer, this is a component of many different jobs now. It might seem simple now, but in the future, these are skills that we're really going to need.
Yeah, I think that the future will definitely like use these coding and programming skills that kids are learning at young ages.
Yes. So, Eesha, through this project, what is your message for youth about coding?
I want to show coding, not coding, show the youth that coding isn't something to be afraid of. It isn't something that's boring, because yeah, coding can seem kind of intimidating, kind of useless at first. But when you really start to use coding, start to like learn coding, then it starts to become really fun and engaging. So I want to show the youth that coding can be super fun. It can solve so many problems, and it can also be really helpful in the future. It can just help people in so many ways.
Yes, that's also an experience that I can relate to, and I know many of my friends can relate to, because often we find ourselves feeling intimidated by coding, and we feel like coding is very hard, and when are we going to actually apply this? So it's very important for the youth to have some exposure to coding at an early age so that these are skills that they can apply later in the future.
hmm Yeah. I know that a lot of people, like even for me, like the first time I used coding, I just thought this is so boring, this is so useless, like I don't want to learn this. But as I pushed myself to learn it, and I was able to get the right people to like really show me like what programming's about, I developed a huge interest, and I also want people to get that right. uh, I also want people to really feel um, like programming is really helpful and it's something amazing.
Yes, that's true. So, Eesha, in the future for your project, where do you see this project going in the future? What is your vision for this project in future years? How do you hope to grow and expand it?
So I really think that this project is going to continue growing just because as more and more kids want to gain exposure to STEM and they realize or they see STEM in their world and they want to be a part of that, they want to learn STEM. I think that more and more people are going to try to get exposure. And that's where I would jump in and teach them about coding and how coding can help and just teach them, give them the experience of coding. So I want to continue this program. I want to continue combining two things that I love, teaching and coding, to influence the youth in a powerful way.
Yes, I can't wait to see how your project grows in the future and how you will be able to reach more people and really spread the word about STEM and maybe inspire some kids to choose a career in STEM that they never considered before. And in this way, you can really make a huge impact to people's lives. So thank you so much. Your work is very inspiring for the youth to hear. And that's why we're doing these sessions on youth change makers in the community, because it's very amazing to see how youth are stepping up in this time and how they are really coming together and helping others in lots of different ways. And your project to introduce kids to STEM and coding is a great example of that.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah, I'm.
Go ahead, Eesha.
Yeah, I also think that your work is fantastic, and I also want to thank you for like stepping up and showing how STEM can be really impactful in the future.
Yes, thank you, Eesha. Thank you so much for giving me time today. It was really great to hear about your summer coding camp for kids and how you see this will grow in the future.
Yeah, thanks you for having me. Bye.
Bye, Eesha. Thank you so much for coming.